Hey Cavs fans, we're sitting here still in the queue. It's getting later on a Sunday night following Game 7 of a tougher than either of us expected first round series with the Pacers. The Cavs found a way to get it done, and now they're moving on to the Toronto Raptors. What do you expect?
I don't know. We're supposed to have all these answers, right? And all these people ask us all these questions about what do you think is going to happen in this game? What do you think is going to happen in this game? And now, what do you think is going to happen against the Raptors? And I don't know how anybody could know. I didn't know at all what to expect going into Game 7 today. And I don't know how you could expect one thing or the other going into the series against Toronto. There are people within the Cavs organization, Joe, that feel like Toronto is not as tough of a matchup as Indiana was. I don't know that I believe that, but Toronto has home court advantage this time around. They've been waiting around. Not having 2 days in between any game throughout the course of this series, I think, is going to be problematic for the Cavs. But I feel the same way that I did going into the Indiana series. The Cavs are going to have the best player on the court. And I think we've seen here in this series against the Pacers what he's capable of doing in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I wrote in a story I just posted that Cavs players and coaches have called LeBron the best player in the world 8 times since the playoffs began. They're really driving home that point. I know you like the Raptors bench.
I do.
A lot, and you should.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're really good. And the Cavs bench in this series was just not, they didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a bench can swing a series.
Right.
I've already begun work on the match actually for this post that this video will go with. I like the starting lineup versus starting lineup matchups better for the Cavs now than I did in the first series.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
You know that the Raptors have dynamic guards.
Mm-hmm.
But they had trouble with Jeff Green.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff was really long on them, and if you look through our archives at cleveland.com, you look at the photos, every photo of DeMar DeRozan is Jeff Green going like this. He gave him a hard time. I don't know that Jeff's going to start. You could go with the lineup that we had seen in games, with JR and Korver out there.
Yeah.
Which means Kevin and LeBron and then George Hill,
mm-hmm.
Which is really going to neutralize Valanciunas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Raptors would be able to get away with what the Pacers got away with, what they did to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the bench that scares me. Van Vliet is awesome, and
right.
he came back from his shoulder thing.
Right.
CJ Miles is a Cavs killer. And then you got Pirtle.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty much the main guys, right?
Yep.
So the Cavs are going to have to figure that out. I mean, Jeff Green's got to play better. They got to Tristan's got to give him those kind of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You need something out of like a Clarkson or
any one of those guys. Rodney Hood, that'd be nice.
They were shut out today
right.
in Game 7. That can't happen. So
yeah.
So now here's the part of the show where we figure it out. We say what we got here in this series. I know we both picked the Cavs in 5.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, we were way off.
Nailed that one.
I like the Cavs in this series. I am not going to pick against LeBron until he no longer plays here.
Okay.
I picked the Raptors to win that series last year as kind of a reprimand on the Cavs for how poor they were in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that anymore either. So I'll say Cavs in. I think I said Cavs in 6. I could see Cavs in 7. I respect the Raptors. I respect that the Cavs have big problems, but I think they found something here in this series, and I think they've got a chance.
It would not surprise me if the Cavs won the series against Toronto. I think the Cavs have the mental edge over them. I think they've got the experience edge over them, even though a lot of these guys for the Cavs are going through this for the first time. You saw it in Game 7 with Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Kevin Love, the core 4 that have won a championship. at the end of the game, it looked like one team had won a championship before and the other one was still finding itself in terms of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like for the Pacers in Game 7. And that's what it looked like in Game 5 at the end of Game 5 too. And I think those kinds of things matter, and sometimes that can be the difference. I think Kevin Love is going to play better in the series against the Raptors because he no longer has to deal with Thad Young. And I think Serge Ibaka is a better matchup for him because Serge doesn't want to go out to the perimeter because he's used to just playing around the rim. Toronto's probably going to start the game with rookie OG Anunoby on LeBron. That's advantage Cavs. So the two most important players for the Cavs, I think, have plus matchups in this series against Toronto. That helps. I'm worried a little bit about George Hill's back. I think he's vitally important for the Cavs to get through and get to the NBA Finals. And if I'm just going based on, Joe, what I've seen throughout the entire regular season, the second half of the regular season, and what I saw in this first round of the postseason from both these teams, the Raptors and the Cavs, I can't bring myself to pick the Cavs. I can't ignore everything that I've seen from this team, the bad things that I've seen from this team. I think it's a better matchup. I think there are ways that they can exploit Toronto that they couldn't against Indiana. But I'm going to take the Raptors in 7 because they have home court advantage, and it's very, very difficult to win in that building.
It's a reasonable pick. The Raptors were number 1 for a reason. The Cavs absolutely struggled in this series. I guess where we diverge is I don't think that Kevin will be that bad. And if he's not...
Right.
But I mean, I'm not
and
even...
And if he's not, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
And I'm not even arguing with you. I mean, this is a tough pick.
Yeah.
This is because a lot of what you saw this series wasn't good enough.
Yeah. I mean, it took NBA Finals 2015 LeBron James, that version against the Golden State Warriors, to beat the Indiana Pacers in round 1. Somebody else, a couple other guys, are going to have to step up and be more consistent throughout the course of this series.
So Chris thinks this is the final Cavs prediction video of the year. I do not. I think we'll be back with you, but it'll be close. Either way, as always, thanks for watching.